Well, hey, welcome back to another episode of Breaking Kayfabe. It's your boy Saucy, and I'm here with my good buddy Jay Mont in the house. Jay Mont, I'm happy to have you here. I'm a little starstruck because you're kind of a big deal. How is everything going?
Big deal. Just the average Joe, you know that.
Oh, you're being too modest. Jay Mont is everywhere right now. Maybe the biggest thing in efetting. Tell us about what you have going on right now.
I don't think this 30 minutes going to cover all I got going on right now.
Well, what's your
Well,
biggest? What's the biggest thing on your docket right now?
probably IIW and WGWF right now.
Okay. So let's start with IIW. Good folks over there. They have some beautiful belts. Whoever made those deserves a pat on their back. So which one of those belts are you chasing right now?
I'm holding the world title right now.
There it
I got
is.
they got the match next month against John Kavanaugh. It's a rematch.
Now, if I remember correctly, Jay Mont won the Ice Crown Battle Royal to get that title shot. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And you took the belt off of Kavanaugh to win it.
It's exactly what I did, and holding it still. I'm going to hold it later.
So what? So he's enacting his auto rematch clause, right? What are the stipulations in this one? I assume that it's going to be a little bit grittier.
Well, it wasn't a rematch clause. They hired a new general manager last show, who came out because they fired the GM Sean Hart, who was the leader of Mecca with us, the top stable over there that holds most of the gold. You got Mac Baines holding international title, Enigma's holding legacy title. Bam and Kim Payne are about to win the tag titles in a couple weeks, hopefully, and then hopefully Fred Debonair gets his UK title back. We're pretty much running the show over there. So Osh brought a new GM in. He's trying to throw his weight around, and he gave Kavanaugh the rematch without even asking for it. And then, you know me, run my fucking mouth, blah 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 blah. I get suspended with no pay right now.
Well, I don't think that J-Mon even needs the pay right now. I mean, Christ, he's wrestling 4 days a week as it is. I don't think money's the problem. I think time's the issue. But he seems to be thriving, right? He must love it. How does the family feel about that?
The baby loves more daddy time, so that's all I'm doing right now.
Yeah, right. So, I'm always impressed when I see handlers who are involved in multiple feds and can operate at a high level at the same time. It's a skill set that not everybody possesses. And, I don't know if a year ago you were going as hard in the paint as you are right now, but right now you're really feeling this character and everything is just working. What's the experience been like for you recently?
I think what you said. I think I got rejuvenated about a year ago when with Candace and this whole baby idea of Baby G. It kind of like brought a new dimension to my character and kind of lit a little fire for something new. So it definitely helped me keep going. I was kind of not getting stale. I was getting a little bored. And then, she's helped me get over this little hump with the Mia character, the Baby G and everything. And it's kind of just pushed me to the next level, I feel like.
It's such a smart story to tell because the character J-Mont is kind of obnoxious is probably the right word, right?
Yeah.
I think all wrestlers need to be a little arrogant, need to have an ego, but they're not all as obnoxious as he is. If you didn't have this family, if you didn't have Baby G and Gia, then he would be unlikable. But when you see these segments or these character development pieces when he's with the family, and he's so relatable in those moments that he gets a free pass for all the terrible things he's going to say later. It's it's that duality of the character that we talk about on the show often, and I certainly enjoy reading it, and I think that other people do too. You wouldn't be having success in multiple places if if it wasn't good. You know what I mean? Um, you
Well,
know,
me has definitely saved me a couple times just having her around. My mouth definitely gets me in trouble.
Mia. I'm sorry, I said Gia. I meant Mia. Um, and of course, Mia is, I think, handled. Is Mia also handled by the same handler as Cat Jones? Is that
No,
correct?
no, me is handled by Candace that owns the Velvet Rabbit.
Oh, Candace. Oh, you know, that's my mistake. I think I've heard that before.
How
And
how dare you put me and Cat Jones in the same sentence?
you don't like Cat
That's
Jones?
Now I had to take a shot at her. I'll get I'm gonna get yelled at for that later by her, but that's all right.
It's funny how many people have multiple characters, and it's easy enough to get mixed up. But sometimes you'll find out that somebody handles a character, and you've been interacting with both of their characters and never knowing that they were the same person. So, uh, my question to you would be: what other characters are you running right now? Is Jaymon it for you? Is he the only one?
That's that's all I've ever done my whole efed career, man.
Just the one character, huh?
That's it. I've taken him from rookie 20 years ago to where he is now. I've actually aged him just like me. I'm as 42 years old right now.
Has it always been Randy Orton as the pick base, or has that changed over the years?
No, I've had Randy Orton the whole time, so it's kind of
Yeah,
like worked out well.
and I assume you're a Randy fan, or else you would have changed it by now.
Oh yeah, no, he's a great guy in and out of the ring. He's to me he's one of the top heels in the game when he's out there in real
Uh,
life.
he seems like a really likable, nice guy. He works so slow in the ring that it does kind of drive me nuts. Um, but the character, he's got the body, he's got the look. His entrance music is maybe the best song in all of music. He's got the pyro. He's the quintessential wrestler. It's such a great, iconic pick base. It's. You didn't know that, back when you first started running the character, that he'd still be doing it now. But just with age, he's just gotten better. It's
Oh man, hopefully he comes back. Suppose he's still out another couple months. They're saying I was reading online.
he'll always be around. He's changed up his style a little to accommodate his aging, right? We're both guys in our 40s, and you probably, if you're like me, you've lost a step, and you're a little bit more careful than you used to be. Your weekends aren't as wild, and you're not staying up past midnight very often. But
I don't know, buddy. Ask around. My weekends get a little hectic
oh
sometimes.
yeah. Uh,
I somehow guess I do live the J my lifestyle. Sometimes staying up to 3, 4 in the morning on a Saturday night VIPing at the club.
so where do you find time to write your pieces? Because I've read some of your pieces, and you do a ton of research for these pieces. When normally, for somebody who runs a character who's very mouthy, you could really just talk trash and just lean on that. But that's not what you do. Like, you spend a lot of time actually researching your opponents and using that in the promos, which is super appreciated because not everybody does that. So the question was, where do you find time for it all?
Honestly, you'll laugh. I'll be sitting there sometimes filling out a credit application or work, trying to get this approval for a car deal for the customer, and I'll be waiting for the bank. I'll do a little bit of an RP or do a little research on the opponent or like the venue or something like that. Put a little notes on the Google Doc. I've done a 4,000 word RP one day at work. Just really depends.
um, well, hey man, I appreciate what you're doing. So we talked about IIW. What's going on in WGWF for you right now?
Well, they just had the big pay-per-view, the War Games, and of course the show. And I wasn't on the show because in real life I was on vacation for 8 days, so I didn't have time to RP or give my full efforts on it. But I was talking with Paige, and we had the ending figured out where Vaughn's team lost. Everyone was in the ring. I hopped the guardrail and stole the world title and left. Because Vaughn, if Vaughn don't want to give me a shot, I'm just gonna take the title and get one.
So you just took the title.
Yeah.
Possession is 9/10 of the law. So
So now, technically, I'm walking around with 3 world titles from the IIW to the TIA, and now Vaughn's title.
that's right. That's right. So let's talk about that for a second. This is Awesome Promotions. Is not a Fed. It's the promotional company that I run. We had a 5-way match for the men's championship, and J Mont comes out on top in that match. And what was a wild match. It was kind of by process of elimination. J Mont steals another belt there from Dionysus, which I know the match was a little confusing, the stipulations, but I think it does set up well for a grudge match with Dionysus here in a couple months. So I appreciate you being part of that and kind of giving us the rub over at TIA.
Yeah, I used that match to try something with that I wanted to do what I haven't done as far as really doing most of my role play with Baby G with me. I wanted to try something different. I think it went over pretty well.
I mean, I certainly think so. In that match, there were 3 role plays that were very close to each other. It was yours. It was Dionysus and John Cable. Very different writing styles, but I mean, I'm glad I didn't have to pick between the 3 which one was the best one, because they were all equally good. We would have probably had to go to another judge to get a final pick, but I think that's just a testament to the way that you write is entertaining. You're not just writing for yourself, like you're trying to connect with the reader, which is something that not everybody's able to do. So I don't know if you were just writing because you know what I like, or if that's kind of how your writing style is looking these days. But I think it's very good, and I think you stand to do very well in the World Series of Wrestling this year.
All I know is that Vodka better draft me, or there's gonna be some issues.
Right. So we've in the World Series of Wrestling, there's a draft, and the 4 coaches who are drafting the field are Vodka Black, who you're pushing for, Peter Vaughn, who is a dastardly son of a bitch. Right. You stole his title. Why would he draft you? And then we've got Ryan Keto, who is as pure as the driven snow.
Yeah, I can't work with that either.
No, I can't work with that. And then Todrick, who you probably could work with Todrick. I mean, anybody can work with Todrick.
Me and Toddy get along. Austin hates me, but it's all right.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I could see that causing some drama there. So take me back to what's the story with Vodka, right? Because I don't ever remember seeing you in a federation with Vodka Black. So I think there's a long-term story to be told there. Walk me through that.
This goes back to when we first started the AOL days when I had my little clique called Focus. We kind of we ran things and just pissed people off, shut feds down for fun, That's just being a young kid, being a wise ass and a dickhead. And in between, it was her and Rich, Vin, Dan, all those people, like Damon Riggs, Vincent Black, Vodka, Candace, all them. I used to just harass them, piss them off. They came at me, pissed me off. It was just like a war.
This is 20 years ago?
Yeah, we didn't like each other. We just did not like each other. And then when with OPW a couple years ago opened up, that's when I kind of reconnected with all the people I didn't get along with, and it just kind of buried the hatchet and just rebuilt a new friendship. And ever since then, things been taking off. So I started with OPW. Then when Fight came on, I got a little closer with everyone again, and it's been good since. Yeah, I got to grow up one day,
Nah, that's not true, right?
In character, I'm never gonna grow up.
Right. I mean, you can just because you're doing adult things doesn't mean you have to grow up. I think if you're a child of the '80s I don't think you ever need to grow up, but you can still live that 80s lifestyle and still be responsible at the same time. I mean, some days it feels like everybody that's in this hobby is between the age of 35 and 45. um,
That's what it feels like.
the same people that were fedding in 1998 are still the same ones that are fedding now, although there may be less of us. um,
I'll tell you what, though, the people that just started RPing in the last couple of years do not understand the pain of watching your AOL dial up trying to make a deadline.
right. Uh, yeah, I remember those days. I remember the janky forums on GeoCities and Angel Fire. Uh, the I kind of miss it sometimes, right? There's really ugly web pages with the web counters at the bottom and the animated fire gifs on it. Um, I've heard people talk about creating an ironic fed that's got all that in there, and there's certainly ways to look that up if you use the Wayback Machine or archive website or something. You can look at some of those old sites. Um, but I'm just amazed what people do in these feds now. Uh, and you've seen a lot of them. So what's the best one going right now? Who's the best?
Honestly, all the feds I'm in, I enjoy them all because between the owners and the staff, everyone was just great. And the IIW, you got Sean Hart and Osh, great owners. I mean, they get the results out on time and they're good. WGWF has probably got some of the best handlers and storylines going on right now. And then I'm doing a couple of side projects. I got the Entity Super Show where I'm fighting Knox in a street fight. So since he wants to run his mouth, I figure I'll step up and accept his challenge.
There you go.
And then I forgot the date of Thunder Pro Wrestling. I got a Rumble coming up. I figure the owner's a good guy, so I figure to show some support and try it out.
That's at what, Bohemian Grove? Is that right?
That's it. That's it. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. And let's see. I saw something posted earlier this week between Mont and Seb. Can you share anything about that, or is that still a secret?
We're just boys. I'm just letting him know I have his back. I got there's a big match coming up, and I'm bagged. So I forgot the name of the Super Show, but I'm on his on his team. It's like a 12-man match. I forgot what it's called, but he's just one of my boys. I got his back. So I want to let him know that.
I've said on the show before that Sebastian Everett Bryce is like, he's the guy that like makes my blood run cold. I don't know why. It just scares the shit out of me. He's a nice guy. He's always been nice to me. And I don't know that CCPE has like a top wrestler in the ranks. I mean, aside from Chris Page, who's like the number one lieutenant. If it's not Seb, then it's probably Mont, right? I mean, who's the top guy over there?
That's a good group of that. I mean, you got I don't even know who's there anymore. You got Peter Vaughn. He's one of the top guys. Jim Cadis is good. Got a good role player. You got Austin and Todrick. You got Kim Payne. You got Mac Bain. I mean, there's just. And I'll be the first person. I'll go on the air right now and give Mac Bain credit for getting that second win over me to win the best of three. I'm not ashamed to say it. He got me.
Do you see another match between Mont and Mac Bain on the horizon, or is that done?
Nah, I think we're good for now. We're kind of like a little better situation, but I got once I'm done with Vaughn, I know someone's hanging in the background that keeps running their mouth, so I got to wait to see when Goth's going to make his return since I took him out. So he's a little upset about that.
And Goth, another CCPE guy.
So yeah, my teammates don't mean nothing. I attack them. I do its best for ratings and revenue.
So you want a piece of Knox? You want a piece of Goth? Who else is on the hit list? Who's up next for Mont? You said Kavanaugh. Who are we
Like
missing?
Vaughn, Jim Cadis. I can't forget that Austin still wants to take my head off for some reason. He's just overreacting.
Jamon's just making friends everywhere, huh?
Hey, hey, the funny thing is, two of my only like 2 or 3 allies in WGWF, and you never guess who it is, but Sonya Benson and Cholo. Who would ever thought that in a million years?
Sonia Benson and Cholo. I how I can't connect those dots. How did that happen?
It just works. It just happened. We're not a group or nothing like that. I just people like that get along with and work well together with.
Are they just handlers that you work with, or is it an in character thing?
No, both.
Okay. Yeah,
I've worked with I worked with Cholo as Xavier Lux and IIW and stuff as well. So
yeah, and I just want to say that the handlers of both Cholo, Xavier Lux, and Sonia Benson, I mean, really, really good writers, um, tough to beat all the time. I think they both have beaten me in every match I've had against them, and they're not bad company to have. And Sonia Benson, also CCPE. I don't think Cholo is just yet. He's too much of a baby face, I think.
no,
To
but Xavier Lux is though.
But Lux is, yes, that's right. Um, so you guys are thick as thieves over there. But it's good. I mean, it that just speaks to how much talent there is in the WGWF and how much talent you have in CCPE. It helps everybody get better when you have to bring that level of competition in order to be even 500. In the record book. Everybody's just killers over there. So what's next for you, Jamont? I mean, you've done everything at this point. I mean, you've been doing this for forever, and you've been a world champion multiple times. What's on the bucket list that you haven't done yet?
Can't. What I want to do is I know Candace got a lot going on with work and Velvet Rabbit and stuff like that. I would like her to find time if she can to actually use me a character, and I want to team with her and try to win tag gold.
Oh, that would be cool.
Just kind of like icing on the cake. I mean, I know it's not going to happen this year, but that's something maybe, like I said, on the bucket list.
I'm sure that could happen because even if it's not in efed, there are some super shows that are setting up this year, and I think Candace has teased the idea of setting up her own super show. I could see something like that happening for sure.
Another match I'd like to happen on a super show is me and Mia get our revenge and face Thad and Sahara Duke.
Oh yeah, that'd be a banger. I'd like to see that for sure.
Yeah, me and Thad talk all the time. It's just if it happens, it happens. I mean, me and Thad, we like to have a match with ourselves on a super show if it lines up right. I mean, that's another good guy out of character as well.
Yeah, I know Thad has kind of taken some time off. I believe he's part of Triad. He's going to be running over there, and Sahara also is pretty selective about where she works.
Speaking of selective, I was part of the Arcadia.
Yeah, so tell me about how Jamon. Well, I mean, we know that Jamon is exclusive, right? But tell me about that experience, because and we've talked about that on this channel a little bit. But what did it mean for Jamon? What is he taking away from that?
At first, I was honored to be picked out of the whole batch. I mean, you got hundreds of RPers, and I mean, they only picked a select few, so I felt honored right there off the bat. And then when I saw the names, I was like, God damn, I got my work cut out for me.
Oh yeah.
I know I got knocked out early, but I said, you know what, man, this is this is what I need though to go against these best guys. Kind of just help me step my game up even more. I mean, there's not an A- player in that Fed right now. It's like same thing with WGWF. I mean, it's just all A players. I mean, it's you could lose 4 matches in a row, but it doesn't mean you stink. You know, it's just
It's I know it was supposed to be ironic, right? That everybody can be exclusive, but the folks who made it into that competition, I mean, you deserve a lot of credit for even getting invited, right? It was a limited engagement. It was basically like a I don't know, a 4-part series, like a limited series. Is that what they call it on Netflix?
yeah.
And I mean, it was an experience. It was really cool. So anybody who was involved in it, regardless of whether of how they finished, I mean, they had a role in the movie, and Mont was in the movie. I mean, that was cool. That's probably going to be the most memorable thing that happens this year.
The hardest part for me was to keep my mouth shut.
Right? uh,
There's so many times I want to send out a tweet, and I'm like, I had to hold back. I'm like, damn it.
yeah, you know, I can tell you from experience, it is hard to drip feed your audience, little bits of information when you want to just spill your guts and tell them the whole thing. We've got a lot planned for Mont in the World Series of Wrestling this year, and I can't share any of that stuff really. But it's that reveal, that aha moment that you get when it finally gets published is so satisfying. And that had to be super exciting for you when they were finally dropping the results and people are reacting in real time. I mean, that's a wild experience, and that's something that's kind of new in this hobby as well.
Yep.
Makes you wonder what's next for efetting. What other forms of media, or how are we going to incorporate other kinds of technology? I mean, you're on a podcast right now talking about fantasy wrestling. Who would have thought that 10 years ago?
So why I sit back and wait to see what happens with a fight now? I'm getting ready for Kavanaugh, beat his ass again. Getting ready to see what Vaughn and Cadis got to say. Gonna shut up Knox. I'm gonna win a Rumble. And then shit, maybe make another baby. Who the hell knows?
To your credit, a lot of people who don't know you well might think that you've forgotten about the little guy, but you've always been super cool and supportive of all my projects. And I don't think we've ever had a match against each other, but you just check in, and I appreciate that. You've been super humble about every project that we've worked on together, which is cool because you don't have to be, and not everybody is that way. So, for anybody who has a problem with Mont, or as a handler, or they have this perception of you of being the character you play, you are not that way at all, man. You are super chill and easy to root for. I'll put it that way.
I appreciate that. And if anyone that's listening, there's a big difference in character and out of character with me. Just ask around.
Yeah. Amen to that. Well, hey, we're getting pretty close to the time here, but I want to open up the floor and give you the opportunity to promote any projects that you're working on, any matches you want to push, anybody you want to shout out to. I want to make sure that I give you this opportunity to cover everything you want to. So what else you got for us?
No, I just want to thank the IIW, Osh and Sean Hart for giving me that opportunity back in September. And I'm going to make sure I keep that world title. I want to thank Mac and Enigma for giving the Fed a chance. And then WGWF, I want to thank Paige for running one hell of a show. I mean, the results are some of the best out there. And then I'll make him proud when I steal the title from Vaughn again. And then me and Knox are going to put on a headbanger with the Entity. That's beginning of July. And then Thunder Pro Wrestling, I'm going to try to win my third Rumble this year. So And then I want to give a special shout out to Candace for dealing with me and all my bullshit. So.
Well, hey, J-Mont, you're a real one, man. I appreciate you, and you always have a great attitude. So just keep on doing what you're doing. But we're gonna call it here. So on behalf of Joseph Montori, that's Montuori. I know that's people spell it wrong pretty often. And on behalf of This Is Awesome Promotions, I'm Saucy, and you're a beautiful audience. Thank you for tuning in. Hit that subscribe button. Check back for more Breaking Kayfabe content later this week. And until next time, be excellent to each other, party on, and we'll see you again down the road.